Welcome back, everybody, to The Vent, the podcast where we talk about what we need to talk about. I'm Christian Grossi, your host, and today we're going to be continuing with my backpacking travels across Europe. I believe the last time that we left off is I just got to the Eiffel Tower, and I was taking a nap on a bench. And I'm just trying to relive those moments here, and it's so funny because I look at a lot of the pictures that I took across the world before I do these podcasts, and it's just incredible, man. It's incredible how much memories and how many incredible times you kind of forget about and push to the side when you don't. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry about that. I almost just went through a flock of dandelions. It's incredible how many memories you kind of forget when you get caught up in life and how quickly life moves, and you kind of just forget about the good old times. So let's get back to the story here. I woke up from this concrete bench, literally right outside the Eiffel Tower. Like, when I tell you the Eiffel Tower is like 35 feet in front of me, like I'm that close. And it kind of looks like a college campus grass area, you know, that stereotypical, like, oh, everyone's playing frisbee on the college grass, like that. That's literally kind of what I'm sleeping in. And I get up because I'm like, I gotta, like, see if I can get in this thing, because I knew that you could go on top of the Eiffel Tower. And so I start walking, and I see a bunch of people selling like these little trinkets, like keychains, like selfie sticks, all this garbage, right? And I'm a person where I don't really like to spend money, and I don't like to spend money on stupid things like that. Like, I'm all about, if you want to get a little trinket to remember your trip, that's cool. I totally understand it. But for me personally, it's more about the experience rather than what I can bring home. So they're literally scattered everywhere. How they are is there's this like little walk strip right in front of the Eiffel Tower. It's kind of like just like a sidewalk, but much bigger. And they have all these like bed sheets and blankets set up, and just like hundreds of pieces of merchandise, memorabilia, whatever you want to call it. And they're yelling at me in like broken English, because let me just paint a picture for you. Picture me, how I look right now, with a 40-pound brown backpack on, walking through the streets of Paris. You can clearly tell I am not from there. And in Europe, tourism is actually a huge business. It's massive. It actually employs a lot of people, tourism. So they're yelling at me. They're like, oh, come here, come let me show you this, And I'm like, no, I'm good. And I like get through like 15 of them. And this one guy walks up to me and gets super close to me. And I'm already on edge, right? Because it's my first day. I don't really know, like, the vibe, all that stuff. So I'm super on edge. I'm a little scared. This guy comes up to me, and he's, like, trying to talk to me or something. And I was warned. And he was saying something, but I couldn't understand what he wanted. And I was warned before I went there in, like, Paris and in Rome, of like, watch out for pickpockets. Pickpockets are everywhere, and if they'll get you and you won't even know. You have no idea. The next second you'll look down and your phone is completely gone. So after like 2 or 3 seconds of this guy trying to talk to me, I go, no, can't help you. Start walking away. He pops back out in front of me again. I'm like, look, I don't know what you're saying. I don't want anything. No. I walk away, and he puts his hand on my elbow. And I freaked out. I threw my arm back. I was like, you don't effing touch me. Don't touch me. And then he starts screaming at me. And it's like a scene, right? And I'm just like, don't effing touch me. And I just start walking. Like, I walk quickly away because I'm like, yeah, get me away from this dude. I'm not trying to get pickpocketed first day. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where I am. And I just kind of like sped walk, like, you know, those moms with the little weights. Like, that's what I did. I just like got out of that scene. I went around to the other side of the Eiffel Tower where like kind of the same situation was happening, but it was a little less. But that was super scary, actually. Reliving that moment, I actually thought like I was going to get robbed and pickpocketed. And it had nothing to do with what the person looked like, because clearly I didn't even describe him to you. But it was just the situation. It was a very sketchy situation, why this man was coming up to me. Then he put his hands on me. And I just had the feeling that like someone either behind me or to the side of me was going to try to take my shit. And if they did, I was screwed because it's literally day one. So I'm on the other side of the Eiffel Tower, and I'm just admiring it. Like, it is an incredible sight. Like, we all know the Eiffel Tower, but like when you get there, it is this monstrosity. Like, imagine a New York City skyscraper, but just like a piece of art. Like, it just the way it looks built, and the fact that like you can walk up it, you can take an elevator up it, you can go all the way to the top. And I tried to, but unfortunately the line to get to the top was 2 hours long. And I'm sorry, I'm that impatient. I'm not. So I didn't go to the top of the Eiffel Tower, which kind of hurts a little bit. I kind of wish that I did do that. But that was so. It was just I literally sat there for probably like 15 minutes, just like looking at it, because it's this thing that like you read in history books, you know. You read these history books of like the Colosseum, the Eiffel Tower, you know, the Sphinx, and you're like, wow, those things are awesome, like looking at pictures. But when you actually get there and experience it, it's definitely something else. So after spending some time looking at the Eiffel Tower, I was like, I am so hungry. Think about it, like if we're recapping back to last episode, I had to walk. Like I walked at this point like 10 to 15 miles. And I'm so hungry, and I just had like little like granola bars in my backpack. And so I go to this little like bakery. I thought it was a bakery, but it was kind of like a deli bakery, like a bake deli. No, I'm gonna stop. And I walk in, and like it just seems like a non-touristy French bakery. Like, I tried to ask the woman if she spoke English, not a lick. I was like, okay. So I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna pick something. So what I did was I ended up picking up this bagel with like salmon on it and lettuce, and unfortunately it was mayo. I absolutely despise mayonnaise, but it was so good. It was so good. And then I got a baguette. Okay, here is travel tip 1, I guess, of the series or the podcast. If you're trying to not spend money, buy a baguette. It's literally like 50 cents, and a baguette will last you at least a day. You want to get fancy? You want to get some jam? Go for it. Baguettes, like, look, when we're backpacking, we're not trying to be the tippity-top peak performance of health here. We're just trying to eat enough to where that we don't die and that we can keep going and have the energy. And a baguette's carbohydrate, so it'll definitely do that. So I got both of those things, and I was like, oh my god, like these are delicious. Like the baguette, like if you go to Walmart right now, or just like or even like I'd guess a bakery, like I wouldn't just order bread and then eat it. Would you? I don't know. Like me personally, like I need to put something on bread, like butter, cream cheese, jam, peanut butter, something. And this bread was like the best tasting bread I've ever had in my life. Like, it didn't need anything, not a single thing. It was literally like buttery, flaky, delicious, soft. Give me another description word. I don't know. Golden. Like, it was perfect. And then that bagel with the salmon was super good, except for the mayonnaise. But you know what? I'm not gonna hang my head on that one. So what I did from there, it was about, I'd say at this point, probably 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And I'm like, all right, man, like, let me figure out where my hostel is. And oh man, this was like the most painful part of day 1. So I Google and I go, like, I Google the directions to my hostel. And on Google Maps, to walk was 1 hour and 45 minutes. And I'm like, oh my god. And the worst part was, it was in the exact same direction that I just came from. So I was just like, no way. And I was just like, well, we gotta do it. So I think the total walk for that had to be like, again, another 10 to 15 miles. And I just started walking. I had my baguette and I was munching it, and And I was literally just with this 40-pound backpack, already have walked 10 to 15 miles on the day, because at this point I was oblivious to how subways work. I just start trekking it back through the downtown streets of Paris. I didn't even have, and the craziest thing, this is the coolest thing about backpacking. So when you're on like a college campus, or like you're in New York City, you're just walking around, you usually pop your AirPods in, right? Or like headphones or whatever, just because, like, I don't know, you'd rather listen to music. When you're backpacking and walking through an literally unexplored habitat to yourself, you want to literally listen and feel everything. You want to feel the culture. You want to feel the tone, the vibe of the city. It's an indescribable event, and it was just so cool. I was walking through the streets of Paris, like not that many cars, mopeds, motorcycles everywhere, little shops here and there. And it was awesome. Like, just people sitting on a bench, just smoking, or the best. And this is my favorite part about traveling anywhere. And it happened more in Italy, definitely. Coffee shops. You can tell from the mug, I'm a huge coffee guy. And in Europe, it is so common to literally just stop at a coffee shop, a little shot of espresso, and just rip it. And just either keep going, like literally, you walk into this coffee shop, 70 cents, shot of espresso, rip it, keep going. It's literally like you're taking a shot of just like fun juice, and you just keep going. It was cool. You would just see that. You'd see people in suits with a briefcase walk into a cafe, rip a shot of espresso, keep on moving. It was so cool. Or like even if you want to go get a cup of coffee, like in America, it's pretty normalized to go to like Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks, but like in these European countries, it's really not. From what I experienced, these coffee shops are all like little mom and pop local shops. You get seriously like a ceramic kind of cup, like a nice cup. They fill it with coffee, and they give you like a little bit of sugar, a little bit of milk, and you just sit out on the patio and just enjoy it. And I did that. I literally did that on the way home, or the way to the hostel, because it was like a 2-hour walk. And I did that. I just sat there, and I was just like, wow, like this is so, like, I can't believe I'm in Paris right now, drinking a cup of coffee on the main street on a patio. Like it was a surreal moment. It was super cool. So anyways, we fast forward a little bit, the whole walk. So I get probably within 20 minutes of the hostel, and it is just looking like sketchy area. It was bad. It was dirty. There was trash everywhere. It was just, some of the characters I was seeing were freaking me out a little bit. So I started powering through the last 20 minutes, and let me tell you, I have never felt shoulder pain, and I've like literally broken the shoulder. I've never felt shoulder pain until that day, and the last 20 minutes carrying that 40-pound backpack on my back. Oh, it was literally like somebody was tearing my shoulders off of my body. Indescribable, and that's why I will literally buy the highest quality backpack when I go to my next trip. Like the highest, like top tier. I will spend $300. I don't know if that's a lot I think that's a lot on a backpack. I will spend $300 on a backpack. And we get to my hostel, and I believe it was called the Joe and Joe in Paris. And it was the coolest hostel I have ever been to. Most expensive, but the coolest hostel I've ever been to. I walk in basically, and this place is incredible. They have on the first floor this circular bar. Everything is retro. Everything's retro. But like bright oranges, bright blues, bright yellows. Insane. Like the artwork is so modern and just out there. And I go in, and they're just like, oh yeah, hey, what's up? Yeah, here's your key card. And I'm like, this is so cool. And like, when I say expensive, it was like $30. Like hostel, like that $30 is expensive for a hostel, when in America we pay like $90 for a hotel room. Anyway, and they have this circular bar that's all open all the time. It never closes. The bar never closes. And they had like this food court area, and they also had this outdoor lounge with bean bags and all these other seats and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is the coolest place I've ever been to. But I needed to go to sleep. I was so tired. And I go upstairs. I think I was on the fourth or third floor. And I get into my room, and it's a room with 5 other beds. And I'm like, this is going to be crazy. Like, who am I going to see? Nobody is there. And I'm like, thank God. I was so happy that, like, because I was exhausted. I was so happy nobody was there so that I could just, like, go to sleep. And we're actually going to leave off on this because it's going to be the beginning of a really funny story again. So long story short, hostels have these little lockers in them that you can put your stuff in. So I literally like throw my bag in there. I put my lock on the locker. I always kept my key in my sock. Because I don't know, it was always on me. And like, if you ever put anything in your sock, it's literally impossible to lose. And I literally went down on one of these beds, passed out. And we're going to stop here. And the funniest part is who wakes me up. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you stopping in to listen to the vent. I really do like doing these podcasts. It's kind of a way for me to just kind of express stories in my life. If you want the just audio versions from now on, just go check out SoundCloud. Also, check out my TikTok. It'll be in the link in the description. I think we just got over 63,000 on there. So if you want to go check that out, I make a lot of content there about twice a day. And I appreciate all of you, and take care.